Hi, welcome to another episode of Art Making from Comfortable Shoes Studio. I'm Leslie, and today I am again making a Drewscape inspired comics spread in my art journal. So I'll link to the Drewscape video about this warm up exercise. I've been really enjoying this as a way to journal without words or minimal words, and it just has been really just a lot of fun. So in this one, I'm using pencil, mixed media sticks, gel pen, and I think I might get out some brush tipped acrylic paint markers at some point. So I'm doing the same thing I did in a previous video. I'm layering on these paint sticks and using them to set up some landscapes in which to plop my characters into. So I really just wanted to kind of capture the kind of essence of some of the views I saw this summer while I was out riding my bike. And so here I am just adding in some sky scene using the blue and the white to capture that sky. And again, these paint sticks, I love them, but they dry really fast. So there's not a whole lot of blending. You kind of have to work a couple layers of it at really quickly. The white acts more as a blender until you add in some darker color. Um, so I have noticed that once I get a layer of these paint sticks down, the paper seals up a little bit and I get a little more working time from the paint sticks. So I get a little more blending. Um, so I'm trying to capture kind of sunsets and bright sunny skies, some of the stuff that I just really enjoyed over the summer as I was riding my bike a lot. So pinks and oranges in those skies. A little bit of yellow, and just layering the paint sticks onto the page, using some white to blend it. Um, they don't dry out when I leave them uncapped while I'm working, but according to the packaging, you do need to keep them capped because they will dry the sticks themselves will dry out. So you got to be careful about capping them during longer storage periods. So these paint sticks are definitely a win in my book. I like them a lot more than I enjoyed gelatos, and I like them a lot more than I like the mixed media sticks. They're all very similar, but the way these dry just works a lot better, in my opinion, for an art journal. I always had a problem with gelato staying a little gooey on the page, and these dry. They literally dry into the page and feel a lot more like a dry paint, like a tempera. I mean, they are tempera paint, which is basically kids poster paint. I do not think that these are at all light fast. So there's no mention of that on the packaging. It does say that, they're non-toxic and all of that, but anyway, I will put a link to these in the description. I kind of want to see if there's a larger color set available, but I also don't want to buy more of them because my interest in them will probably fade pretty quickly. All right, so I think the biggest downside to these paint sticks is that they don't blend well until you have several layers of color on the page. And for this style of working, there's not enough open time to get a good blend with them. So, I'm kind of working this whole page with a layer of one color, then a layer of another color. Um, and, these bright greens are nice, but when it comes to landscaping, they just, you know, they don't look real. So adding in some yellow and bright green, all the greens are super bright and unrealistic looking, and that's fine for this kind of comics inspired panel. Um, but yeah, I think like I kind of want I want to add some professional colors to this. So like I'm looking for like yellow ochre, burnt umber, and those like colors that I go to, whether it's in watercolors or acrylics or some other way of working. Yeah, the I'm just looking for those colors that I use a lot, and I want to blend them and get the color mixes that I use in my work. And this 12 color set, because it's meant for children, just really doesn't do that. Um, but I am attempting to get a little blend here with my fingertip. You know how I feel about blending paints with fingertips. Not a fan of it, but for these non-toxic children's colors, I feel a little better about it. Still not my favorite. I really believe strongly in if you're using artist grade colors, please don't use your fingers to mix them. But I'm not going to harp on that. Um, yeah, so just using a little bit of water to kind of tone this down and blend that brown in with the green. And I think this method of working, once you have a little bit of extra color on the page, adding a little water, you do get a little bit of a blend there. And I do like how that worked. I did end up getting too much water on the page, and I do hit this with the heat gun. So there we are, heat gun action. And of course, I am getting out the Uniball 207 in bold to add in my color. So once this was dried after I applied heat, I just grabbed the pen and decided to kind of capture the essence of my rides this summer. So I do a lot of bike riding, see a lot of places by bike. I do a lot of miles on my bike, and yeah, just sort of trying to capture the vastness of the world and how I kind of feel on my bike and my enjoyment of being on my bike. So anyway, just a little doodly stick figurey envisioning of the countryside by bike. Yeah. So the 207 in bold has no problem writing over this. The regular 207 works really well as well. I have not tried the micro on top of this. I should check it out because I think some of these smaller panels could do well with that super fine line from the micro 207. I don't. I gotta check it and see because I don't know how it's gonna work. All right. So one of the things that I have noticed here with these poster paint sticks is that uh, they're big, they're bold, they're not made for a tiny page like this. They're really made for larger work. And because of that, it is almost impossible for me to stay within my lines. So those panels that I drew were just sort of random. And you can see throughout this page that I have just gone bonkers and not stayed within my panel lines. So what I've been doing to clean up these pages is using this big bold, I think it's a 1.5 centimeter wide nib that you can turn and get narrower and wider um, on its edges. So I'm using this. I'm doing a black border around the panels just to clean it up. And my pages are pretty uneven at this point, so I'm getting some little blobs here and there from where things skip around. But overall, I really like this for cleaning up these edges. The black is super opaque. It's mostly matte. It's not super shiny. So yeah, I really like this to clean up the page. Um, just to give some actual separation between the panels and make the page look finished. Um, yeah, so I really like how this works. You know, it's still a little uneven because it's done by hand. The paper is just really warped. And yeah, I dig this. I've been using the black marker to clean up these comics inspired pages for a minute. And it really works for me. So, but trying to keep the page flat while I'm working, using so much water on these pages has been, it's nice to see that it stands up to it, but also it gets really, really wrinkly. I am going to try and iron this sketchbook and see what happens. Um, but yeah, so anyway, so that's my Drewscape inspired art journal comics panel page using some tempera poster sticks and poster paint sticks, gel pen, super simple materials, big bold marker. So yeah, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and all of that fun stuff. Thanks, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.